Oh, up you come. Hey, good evening. So technology. So we pull a few more parts off the Maserati tonight. I've sold some more bits, so need to pull a few parts off and get them ready for collection and shipping, that kind of good stuff. I'm going to look at the back end of this thing tonight. Have a look at pulling the rear suspension off. I think to get to the top of the coilovers to the shocks, I need to remove some more interior trim. So we'll have a look at that. I did a bit over the other day. Let's go mobile. So technology wise, as you can see, so usually I'm using these little cameras just about the place. So, and we got another one. Oops, we got another one in there at the moment. So camera on camera, as well as we've got a little spy cam that's following us around as well. But I have actually managed to get the iPhone working, which is great because it's much better quality. Although it's a little jerky, I think, for sort of moving around and doing. So it'll be interesting to see what that looks like from a stream perspective. But yeah, cunning bit of software. Not had to pay any money for it, so we'll see how that works out. But yeah, plan is pull off a few more bits. I did. We'd already done this on stream anyway. The other side, so I did make a bit of a start on pulling this lower wishbone off. I wanted to get the other shock out. I've got the hub to take off on the top mount here and pop that out, as well as the bolts for the wishbones here. The arms are really in quite decent condition, so that's great. They, spoiler alert, but they have already sold, so that's all good. In fact, all the hubs. What we do have though is on the back. I've not started with these at all, but again, similar sort of thing, right? There's an upright. Hopefully, this is a bit easier to get off from the ball joint, so that'll be great. Just a bolt holding the upper arm in. There's a ball joint, I believe. Let's have a look down here. Yeah, I think no, the bottom one is the same. It's just got a bolt holding it through. I think. I don't know. We'll take a look. But yeah, need to pull off the rear brakes as well. And yeah, pull these rear corners off. The shocks have also sold, as well as the wishbones. But as I say, if you look at where this actually sits, mounts up here, and where we are, the car is about there. And looking inside the car, you can really see that. But basically, the boot just there only goes so far. Thus, there is all this area just here. No clue what's down there, what's behind it. But obviously, we've got inside, we've got these lovely rear seats. So yeah, bit of a mystery. Quite how I get to those shock towers, whether I get to them from the boot or whether I get to them by pulling these rear bench seats off, I'm not sure. But we'll get this camera out of the way and see if we can pull out the lower piece of the seat, and then hopefully be able to get some bolts that are retaining the back seats in. I've not really pulled anything more out of here since the last stream. I did pop out the little reversing and basically the F1 gearbox control out of the center because it just clipped in. So I thought, why not? We'll get that up and listed on eBay. That is, I think it's quite an expensive parts. I saw there's one on eBay at the moment for £550. So mine it looks fine. It's got, I'd say, well, yeah, I mean, it's a 9 out of 10, I guess, as a quality part. So I've chucked it up for 450 quid. Seems a lot of money for a small box, but then they're £1,200 if you go and buy a new one or something like that. So yeah, which is absolutely bonkers. I did have somebody contact me who wanted the windscreen as well, but but lives in Estonia, so that ain't going to work, because by the time you've shipped it out there, you might as well buy a new one, as we found out, because you can buy one of these for about £1,200, I think. So, but yeah, still worth keeping from my point of view. So, as I've said before, I am not going to take this out myself. I'm going to get someone who knows what they're doing knows what they're doing to whop it out, and same with the rear screen as well. Yeah, what else? Yeah, well, that's it really. So let's we're just going to crack on a bit. I think what I'll do to start with is I've just finished pulling off this corner, because then I'm sort of done with it, so that'll be great. Say the iPhone is on a little standy selfie stick thing with a little tripod underneath it. So I thought this time round, well, I've got a few different views we can use. Let's see. But what would help is if you plug in your little view controller. So that would be kind of useful. So let me just do that quickly. I'm going to pull the in-car chap out as well. In fact, let me just flip you around. Let's use there you go, the other camera. So yeah, I'll pull this camera down. I'm going to spin this around, pop it the other way or something. Just chuck it over there. That's out of the way, and that up there so we can see the rear seats. There we go. So yeah, and then I've got a little USB extension just here. It's got my mic pickup on it and all things. It's all technology excitement. So there we go. So now I've got a little keypad, so I can hopefully circle through some different views. Technology, eh? Wonderful stuff. Okay, so let's put it on. We've got a main sort of iPhone view. Let's put it on that one. There we go. Right. So let's do this front. Need some gloves. I'm going to try not to get too covered tonight. Yeah, I've got a nice seat here that's quite useful for working on cars. No, not at all. So we pulled the front seats out. I need to get these into indoors basically and stored away. Well, they're indoors obviously at the minute, but into somewhere with central heating and things like that. They need a bit of a clean, but yeah, basically good to rock. So I'm just going to chuck you down there. There we go. Right. So on some gloves. So yeah, the first job, try and get this. So I did pop off, as I say, the lower wishbone. I've still got a bolt in the way here. I can't get that bolt off because the steering rack gate is in the way. So I just need to spin the steering wheel. Just go right hand down. And rather typically it's nicely tight in there, so put a persuader on it, just tap the bolt through a little bit. Oops. Try to. Do it. Again, it's still catching on this. What we'll try and do, we'll try and pull it through, pull the rack the other way around. We'll go left hand down, see if that gets it out of the way. I was still meant to do a little bit of research on how to remove steering wheels and things like that. That I've still not got round to. Oh yeah, okay, so there you go, much better now. We can actually get the bolt through past. In fact, there you go, it just pulls out. So it is. Right, so this wishbone can now come on off. With all its little shims and clatter onto the floor. There we go. There we go. A few cobwebs, so sat around for a little while. Yeah, they are very nice aluminium arms. This one has zero corrosion on it. Very nice. Maserati logo, so it's a proper genuine one still, which is great because I've sold them as genuine, so I didn't think to check them all, but happy days. That will be good to go for refurb. The only thing I need to pull off now is just this this little drop arm link, but we are good. So I'm going to chuck that in the box or wherever I put the drop links. In fact, on the table. Oh, exciting stuff! I did manage to get hold of, having an issue when I was messing with the Elise. Have bought a US Pro, not exactly the best make, but whatever. Some nice, slightly longer hex heads and Allen keys. They're on 3/8 drives, and they're a decent length, but rather than having one of the little balls on the end, they are a little bit more positive. I think the one thing I might do is just grind off just a couple of mil off the end of them, just so they're not sort of rounded. I think the more, let's face it, the tighter the fit, the less chance of rounding them. So anyway, happy days. So no more searching around for the 6mm as I've been doing of recent. No idea where it's gone, but whatever. Right, next job then. I'm just going to pull some of these cables out of the way. Tough one. Got the little sensor cables as well. In fact, you know what? We might have the first use of our little tools. Get that bit off. It's going to be jammed on there. There we go. Right. So yeah, we've got. There we go. Whoa. New tool. New tool. New tool. Sign those. So what is it? No, no cigar. That bodes well. There we go. Happy days. So. Good. And where's my little buzz? Little buzz in here. Getting to that stage where I'm ill discipline in the garage means I've got little piles of tools located around whatever job I was doing at that stage. So time soon to have a bit of a tool tidy. Again, it's a little bit corroded, a little bit manky, so just persuading it in, make sure we get a really good grip. So I don't want to round these off. There we go. Oh no! Battery failure. Okay. Now, where the hell have I left the charge? Well, I've got a second battery for this. It's just a exciting. It's just a Sealy one. It's a little 12-volt, but the battery just slides into it there. But I'm pretty sure it came with 2 batteries, if I remember rightly. So there goes. That's the little GPS sensor, not GPS, the little accelerometer, I think it is, or something like that. But now I can get to the large nut under here. I'm going to just pull off these little clips that hold the brake lines in, and got another sensor cable here. There we go, get that out of the way, and then there's another one here on the back. There we go, and this one is the one that's built into the hub. So this is going to be the ABS sensor or a wheel speed sensor or something like that. So that goes here. It's got a cable tie on it. Side cutters just to lose the cable tie without chopping anything else off. Yep. And another cable tie. Yep. Then we can get to the connector for this chop. There we go. Nice and easy. That's that one out the way. Leave that on there. So now we need to undo this. So yeah, can just get onto it. Now then, issue here is we've taken off the lower arm, got nothing to connect this up to. Amateur error, which means now, how the hell am I going to get any sort of purchase on this thing to break what is going to be a very, very strong, very strong nut? Yeah. You should really have thought this through, amateur. So, and I now just took the wishbone off, so I can't just sort of jam it back on. So how are we going to do this? Well, easiest way is to take the upper wishbone off and then get it into a vise. Yeah, just get it into the vise and just give it a bit of a heave ho on there. So I think we'll go with that option. So I've got here 19 on that one. Yeah. Nope, wrong way. And the other 19 there. Okay. I did lob a bit of WD-40 on these the other day, but there we go. Always tighten up a bit as you hit all the corrosion on the end of the thread. But you're all good. Like that. Get the left arm going a bit, balance it out a bit, you know. Right. Oh, one. Right, the other one. It's got another little connector clipped in here. That's it. Get to the back. Okay, this is the same as the one we did last time. So basically, see just here, this little connector for the brake line is just in the way. Annoyingly, just can't get a spanner onto the end of it. This side, no issue. So let's see. Yeah, not going to happen that side. So, and can get one on there. Just try and ease it off a bit. Bit of extra leverage, right? Yeah, know the trick. There we go. So nicely, for me, this one is not. Oh, I was about to say, sod's law. It's not spinning, and then what does it do? Start spinning. So we can just stop it spinning with a screwdriver. No, we can't. So what I'm going to do is just bend this little bracket out of the way a little bit. There we go. Right. Let's see if we can get on it now. Yeah, there we go. Got it. So this iPhone is streaming on the local sort of Wi-Fi network to the PC that I'm using to run the YouTube stream. So I'm kind of intrigued to how jittery and how, I don't know, the quality basically of the things it moves across. I mean, it's on a local network, right? So going far. yeah, we'll see. I think the picture quality should be much better than the webcams, but I think I was reading one of the other options is to hardwire the iPhone, as in, you know, use its USB port. But I'm not really sure how that would work with Windows device. So, right, age old, so same thing. This brake cable is just in the way. Again, I don't care about it. I'm just going to try and persuade it past, which nearly will go. Oh no, look away now. There we go. I made it through. I'm going to just tap this one through as well. Again, I don't recommend twatting the end of a bolt with a hammer if you want to reuse the bolt, but I don't, so whatever. There we go. See again, the corrosion. I mean, I guess you could say it's surface, but yeah, not great, is it? But then, well, no, saying that, look, she's 20 years old, right, and a UK car with our salty roads and things like that. We've got going on down here. A little something, not sure what. We have a little protective metal cover here as well over something, I'm not sure. And we've got a horn up here, 2 horns there. There we go. Right, let us see if we can get this off. So I'm going to hold the hub up. There you go, you can come up here. Oh dear. So I have got a vice. I don't want to bugger anything up here, but let's see where we can get to. Get the wishbone that way round. Oh, there we go. That might work. And just get this pinched enough to stop it rotating without. There we go. That may do it. Let's see if we can get something on that. First of all, let's get some of that on that. And going with this. Okay. That's where I pull my vice off the bench. Oh no, there we go. Okay. Well, that wasn't quite as awful as I thought it to be. And actually, I suppose it's just as easy getting to it now than it would have been on the floor. So can you see? Yeah. So I could just get this ring spanner. I bought. I'm not a particularly big car boot sale kind of guy, but at a car boot sale, I bought this Bosch toolbox. But inside it, it had a load of Imperial, or as the Yanks call British size, old spanners, and more excitingly, wherever they've gone, not sure where I put them. Where the hell have I put them all? Maybe in here. Yeah, there's a few in there, but decent old ring spanners. Some low angle ones, some tight angle ones. But yeah, absolutely loads of the things. I thought I had some more actually. But yeah, happy days. Because they're really decent quality. Well, I don't know whether they're any sort of branded make, but you know, like all these things, right? They built them to last back then, whenever back then was. I guess. Oh. So again, I'm just hoping not to, just as if it was on the car, not to have the ball joint itself break loose at this stage, or else we'd have all kinds of fun getting this off. Again, as I said before, the actual bolt that's coming through, that comes from the from the ball joint itself, it does actually have a recess in it. It's drilled out. You can sort of see it just there. Sort of see, you can put a socket in there, I guess, to hold it against you as you're undoing, doing up, all that kind of good stuff. But it looks like we're going to get away with not doing. Now there's a little plate here, and it's going to stop me getting this thing on it. If I turn it past there, I now can't get off it to rotate, so we've now got to rotate just a tiny bit. Annoyingly. Oops. There we go. It's off all the corroded bits now, so spinning pretty easily. And when I came in the garage about half an hour ago, I just chucked on the little oil burner thing again, and it is now roasting in here. Good value out of that. It kicks out a hell of a lot of heat. Right, there we go. Okay. Oh, so that's that. Next job is the get the ball joint out of here. Get out of there. So I need my little splitter jobby again. So again, this is the we modified it. So I didn't really modify it. I just ground down the sides of this thing just a tiny bit. Just this quite a wide ball joint. I definitely didn't want to damage it in any way. So we should be able to, oh look, we can just push it on now. Happy days. So what I'm trying to do, as you can see, it's sitting just under here, and then this thing, which has got a slight taper on it just to hold on to the head, and then obviously as you tighten up this chap, it's forcing that apart, which is pivoting on here and squeezing that down against here and obviously pushing it out. So what we want to do is get the rat-a-tat-tat on there, and yeah, it will pop with spectacular effect and bits will go flying all over the place. That's usually what happens anyway. Let's try and do it slightly more carefully this time. Well, whatever. Oh, wrong socket. It's a trusty old socket. I've only got one 24mm. I used it at one stage to get some locking wheel nuts off something, so it has been butchered where I've where I'd welded on things, but you know, hey, it still does the job. Quite why I've only got one, I don't know. So again, we're slowly doing this up. Going to put a hell of a lot of tension. And it's probably going to go pop, so I'm just going to hold this. Boom! Yeah, get out of there. So, happy days. There we go. So there's our upper wishbone. Interestingly, it's got a couple of nuts there, so that ball joint comes off as a unit. So when you buy the ball joint, it's sort of, you don't have to replace. I know some cars nowadays you basically just replace the whole wishbone with the ball joint rather than just the ball joint. But this one definitely will need the ball joints replacing because the boot's kind of knacked on it. Yeah, but other than that, actually, again, really nice, corrosion free, ready for a shot blast and a tart up. Just the job. Okay, so I'm going to chuck this with the pile. There we go. All right. So there we go. So that's another one off. So what have we got left down here? And basically now we're into maybe, okay, so we can pull out the anti-roll bar, and that's kind of cool for the front end, for the front corner suspension wise. So let's move down to the arse end of this thing. There we go. So usual sort of thing. Yes, that's loose. So we've got the rear caliper. It's held on by a couple of chunky bolts at the back there. You can just about get to, so I think we're fine. It's got a drop link coming down. Oh yeah, okay. So we've got a rear anti-roll bar, which is running up this way. Hang on, there we go. Ah, a bit of light on the subject. So we've got a rear anti-roll bar coming around here, and it is. There we go, and it's hitting to the top of there. We've got an anti-drop link coming down, and then so we've got the lower wishbone, the upper wishbone, which is kind of a banana wishbone. Just comes around, and there's a bolt holding it through here. So what we'll do first, I guess, is pop off this rear brake caliper. So I think we've got a couple of 19 mils just there. Just go and grab it again. Chuck this hub. I need to photograph that and get that on eBay. Give it a little bit of a clean first. It's a bit mank, but it's only oily covered, brake fluid covered, as the case may be. Right. There we go. Now hang on a minute. What am I doing here? We're coming at it from this way, so we are righty tighty, lefty loosey, all that stuff. So going the wrong way. So again, the just like the fronts, it has these rubber brake lines, which I do not care about. So what I should do is just, well, yeah, I should just chop them, fold them over, and cable tie them, and then I can get this caliper in the vise and undo the fixing with a little bit more sort of, I can give a bit more care to it when you've got it out and not so cramped and stuff like that. Top of the iPhone. So let's see if we can get this one loose as well. It will move. Again, you don't want your brake calipers falling off, I suppose, so fair enough. Now I've not changed the rear brakes on this since I've owned it. I did buy a set of rear brake discs, but when I because they came, well, it was one of these things where someone had them on a shelf and they didn't need them, so, and they were pretty cheap. They were a couple £100 for the pair, I think, or something like that. So I thought, well, why not? As I got the front brakes from them as well. So, but I've had mine sit on the shelf because when I took my rear wheels off to take a look at these discs, there is literally no wear on them at all. They looked pretty much in new condition. There's no ridge, no rear, anything like that going on. So yeah. So actually, these brake discs, where normally you take a brake disc off a car, you throw them in a bin, but for this, they are worth more than their scrap value to somebody, I guess, that wants a set of lightly used discs. Save spending the, what is it, £200 or £150 a side. I'm getting a pair of very new set. This one's a faff because I'm catching the wheel arch every time. Now, interestingly, I should pull this wheel arch liner off. Really, I've no idea. Mate, well, no. Okay, there's no way you're going to get to the top of the shock tower from here, so maybe not. We'll do it at some point. This is quite annoying hitting this thing. Maybe I could. No, I'm not going to unscrew it. There's no point. It's just going to twist and twist anyway. I shall just persevere. My turn of about what, 5 degrees every time. It's getting quite loose now, so maybe. Okay. I'm going to break no speed records here. It's only finger tight, but it's just getting in. There we go. All right, I'm going to pull that off. There we go. I'm just going to chuck that over there for the time being. Right, brake disc. It's got, oh, it's lovely. They've got proper, yeah, proper little 13mm 13mm bolts holding the brake disc on. So just attack that with this jobby. Yep. There you go. So we've got 2 of them. They're great. The Elise had little cap head, so Allen key hex bolts holding it in. They always round, and a pain in the ass. They sort of they sit flush, so they get corroded on, and there you go. Now, talking of corroded on, it's a bit manky here. It looks like not much in the way of copper grease has been used here. I'll just get my rubber persuader if I can locate it. Da-da-da. Where did I last persuade something? Here, jack spot. Not having it. Okay, not wanting to hit it with the lump hammer because, as I say, there's nothing wrong with the disc. So, but it is really quite big. So maybe we'll. Well, the problem is obviously it's the whole against the whole hub fascia. So how do we get that off then? Now I wonder, is the no, that's not a screw hole. Thinking I could use that as a little puller type thing, but no, that's not going to work. Okay, what about this? How can you do that? Okay, so what we could do is use wheel bolts like that, and then pushing against there. Use it as like a hub puller if I had something chunky enough. Push against the, let me see, just on the off chance we've got anything that work. Do have a little puller, but I'm not sure that's going to do the job. Kinds of crank pullers and things. Nope, I'm not sure. You know, a typical puller, so like this kind of thing, ain't going to work. There's nothing to get into to get it out, and obviously it's not sizable enough to get all the way to the disc, and you probably want to pull it from there anyway. So I wonder how far in that goes. Let me, yeah, because all I'm screwing into here is the hub itself. So yeah, I'm being an idiot. That's not gonna work, because all you're pulling is pulling the hub against the hub, so that's not gonna go anywhere anyway. So no, do not know. Other than twatting it with the hammer, heating it up. Pull the whole thing off and push the hub out on the hydraulic on my press is probably the way to go. Just lay it down on the disc and just push onto the hub would probably work. So if we're going to go that route, I wonder whether we can get to, as I said, the way this hub fits on, obviously it's not rotating. There's no rear wheel steerer on these things. So all we've got is, we've got a, I think, is that right? Does the, gosh, so the, come on down here, take a lookies. So basically, here's a ball joint. I'm guessing a ball joint there, but or it's just a fixed rod. It's going all the way through just to that little nut on the end, which also has this. Yeah, hang on. Let me see if I can just get that off. What size is that? That's going to be a little 17, right? Oh. Grab a 17. 17. It's not a 17. Breaky, you muppets. It's of course a 19. Let's see if we can rattle it off. Oh. Whoa. Okay. So what we've done is pulled the thread out from the other side. That's interesting. We'll see what the outcome of that is. Right, and then I've got another one just on the top here. Again. And that one's come off more as I'd expect it to. So the problem? No, okay, so the question would be now, can I get this lower one out to be able to slide the hub this way off? To do that, obviously I need to slide it this way, which means all this gumph down here has come off. So the first thing I'll need to lower it to do that, so I need to get rid of this bottom mounting. We've still got a nut port in here. Out. There we go. So we'll take the lower nut off the suspension. sorry, suspension, the shock. And what is that held into there? So that looks like, that's a bit crazy. So that goes into the lower. Oh man, this is like one of these puzzle things. What is that going? You know what? That bolt that's sticking out there looks like it goes all the way through to the bolt that's holding the. That'd be right. It's going all the way through to this drop link. That can't be right. No, okay, fine. Right, what else we got? So we got the top arm. The top arm is just another bolt there, and the lower arm's the same, just there. So, okay, so I really haven't got my head around this at all. Let's have a look. So we've got this chap coming out, hitting here. So no doubt, okay, because there's adjustment on this, obviously, because you can change the angle of the hub based on this toe link back here. So that could come out the way, which would let the hub slide towards you, towards the camera. However, that won't help because the top arm is then not is in the way. So I need to slide away from you, away from the camera, to get the top arm off, but the bottom arm needs to drop down to make that possible. So the bottom arm at the minute is only, now the suspension is not onto the bottom arm. The suspension's actually this one here. So the shocker is onto this, not onto the hub. So basically this wishbone should, if I were to undo these a little bit so it frees it up a bit on the bushes, I should be able to rotate this down and out the way. So let us give that a little go. So stick you up there. So we need to get this chap off. That's chunky. Where's mine? Jesus. All right. Oh my gosh. Right. Okay. So I'm going to try and do usual sort of thing. Get that there, and then if I spin around, what I need to do is get rid of this bloody bonnet. I've got a Maserati bonnet behind me that I'm trying not to bugger up. Okay, if in doubt, kick it. All right, so I'm only just trying to loosen these for the time being. So that one's definitely loose. See what I'm doing. Right, so let's try getting this one off as well. Footage. Kevin Tallman. No, can't get any sort of. Right, I can stand up and get this one. That's the one. All right. So perhaps I need to get something on the back of that one because it, well, just wondering if there might be something just holding the bottom of the hub. Maybe it's not completely, because I removed that bolt and it feels like it screws in to something. Maybe that something is actually poking out into the hub, so thus this hub ain't going to come off. Obviously as well, The other issue is, how the heck does this drop link attach? Now I can get to the, no, I can't get to the back of the drop link because there's a bloody great, God, that, you know what, that rear that rear roll bar isn't doing a lot. It's not much to it. Yeah, but no, but yeah, but oh, I don't know. Okay, so we undo this. That will allow the hub to move a little bit. But I don't know where I'm moving it to or what's retaining it in its current spot. I thought this would be a really straightforward job, pulling the rear suspension off. It looked so much easier than the front, but as it turns out, it probably is if you know what you're doing, right? Like most things. And once you've done it once, so that feels to me like this bit is in some way attached here. And our shock is free, so that slides that way. That's going to slide. So yeah, we really need to get this down and out the way. So try something. Yeah, so there is definitely something going on here. Something inside the hub. So all right, this might be another research and find out kind of thing, rather than waste my days pulling this thing apart. Or, well, no, not pulling this thing apart. Okay. All right. While we're here, though, here is a back box. These need to come off. I want to get these listed and on their way to being sold. Interesting, while we're under here, right? So all these cables here, these are the hydraulic cables that run to the gearbox. The gearbox, you know what, let's have a little look while we're under here. The gearbox is here on the back axle, and then what you have is a ruddy great tube running all the way to the front with a with a torque tube, it's called. So it's got a shaft running all the way through it, all the way back to where the clutch is, right at the top on the other side of that exhaust center section. And you see the cats right down hanging low. So what we'll do, so there's a center section of exhaust down there that needs to come out, and then there's these two chaps sit either side with this little connecting bar between them, and then this connects onto the back boxes, which are just here. These are nice shiny back boxes. Once they come out, they'll be nice and shiny again. The heat shield on this thing is just awful. The rear heat shield is just, well, look at it, right? Not quite sure what happened to it in some point of time, but it got a right old qualloping, and something had it. Yeah, so, and you can see in there's our drive shaft connecting into the gearbox. So what we'll need to do, in fact, it's a good point actually, it is probably quite sensible while this hub is still attached to get this chap off. It probably would have been quite sensible to do that while I had a brake caliper as well and a handbrake, right? In fact, yeah, it's going to seem pretty clear that what I might want to do is just while this, actually, what am I talking about? I've still got a handbrake, right? The handbrake is on the inside of here. So the handbrake cable goes here. There's no handbrake on this rear caliper, as you can see. There's no connection to it. These are just, again, Brembo calipers. So I reckon we've still got handbrake. So I wonder how chunky that is going to be to get off. I mean, clearly a bit like the brakes. Right, I'll tell you what, first things first, have we got a socket that will fit it? Because maybe we can just loosen that now, knowing that that's going to be an absolute ball ache at some point. So hang on, there you go. You look at that a minute. I'm just going to go and get I'm going to see if I can get a socket. In fact, you know what? You can come with me. Come on a socket hunt. And look, there be one jumping out at me. So what is that? This has clearly had a fair bit of use, so it's obviously for some hub somewhere, but size is important. You are too small. I have got various other chunky sockets up here behind the manky old Costa Cup. So, in fact, you know what? You should live up here. You shouldn't live in that toolbox. Looks like, let's see what size it was. What is it? I can't see. It's so well used, it's worn off. It's a Halford's, that's a 36mm. I've got a 41mm there, and that's a beast. That's a 1.5 inch. Let's look at a 41mm. Happy days. 41mm shears. So what I'm going to try and do. Okay, so a couple of things. First of all, I wonder which way these things are threaded. And also it's got the little bent over castle nutty style, whatever you call it, that will need to be broken off. But so it is possible that they reverse the thread on them, I suppose, thinking about it. I mean, we are trying to undo it, so you know, we want to go that way. That is doing it up, but obviously if the axle is turning that way, well, you know what, maybe they don't care. So let's try and put a bit of gumph on it. See what happens. There's my breaker bar. Breaker. I think I had that outside when I was messing with the Elise, yes. So that will go on there like that. 50. Right, so I'm just going to chuck handbrake on. Oh. See how good the handbrake is. Answer pretty good. Now, what has happened there, as you can see, in trying to do one thing, we have fixed another issue. Did you notice? I bet you did. And if I'd have thought about it, you would have done this anyway, right? I've rotated the hub, but locked the handbrake, locked the disc in place. So what I've just done is freed the disc off. So tip of the day, if you've got a seized disc that you want to retain, you don't want to twat it with a hammer and things like that, undo the retaining. Obviously you've already taken out any sort of retaining bolts or anything like that. Whop the handbrake on, away you go. You can rotate the hub. Yeah, interesting. Okay, so that's not helped us with the center, but has got the handbrake off. So now what I need to do is rotate it round enough to get a wheel bolt back in. A wheel stud. There we go. Oops. Which will then stop the hub rotating. It says. Chuck those in. Be careful with these wheel bolts. They're about £5 a piece or something like that. So, I mean, mine are not in the best condition at the moment, but nothing a wire wheel won't sort out, and probably got a couple of quid's worth of yeah. Right. Would you like to see this from like potential kill myself failure, break my back kind of angle? How's that possible? In fact, hang on. I'll turn the light off. I've no idea what you can now see. but whatever. So I've only got, this is, I mean, come on, look at the length of my breaker bar here. That's not going to do it, right? Not really. So the issue I'm going to have here is I'm going to, no doubt, snap the breaker bar if I do this too much. So what I need, I mean, this is a pretty chunky, but it will snap. You know it will snap. So what would be better is to use something that, what could I use? Because I don't really want to snap this. I snapped the last breaker bar I had. What have I got? I have got nothing chunky that I dare trust to try and break through this. Because what I was going to do was, you know, usual, right? Get a nice big bit of tube on it. Well, I've got these old aluminium jack handles for aluminium jacks that are long since destroyed. So yeah, I mean, what I was thinking was, obviously, usual sort of thing. Chuck that on. Oops. On there. Oh, too many things in my hands. There we go. Trying to avoid damaging this, clonking it with something, sticking a ding in it. That would be super annoying. Right. So there we go. Right. That's on there. This thing's on there. Yeah. Just going to break it. Just going to break it. So, other thing I could do is try an impact driver. Now, obviously, my little electric-y jobby, it's not going to spin that off, right? It's where has it gone? It's down there, isn't it? It's like, I don't know. It ain't all that. It's iron house. I kind of like iron house stuff. I don't know why. I've got lots of it. That is going to do nothing. Then the next stage up from that, I guess, is an air one. Where's my air gun gone? Anybody seen the air gun? Yeah, I've not seen it in a while, I'll be honest. So it could be anywhere. Again, I go back to, I really need to have a sort out of this place. Sort of waste your life looking around for. Need a bit of air for this. Let's grab an airline. Don't happen to have one here. So I'll probably now clonk you, Mr. Camera, but whatever. This is going to make a hell of a racket. Let's see. Oh. We on max? We are on max. Guess not. Unsurprisingly, again, has got the little bent over caps, but that you'd usually just pull through those, right? But let's see. Let's just get them out of the way. A little. It all helps, right? It's a knackered old screwdriver I use for this sort of stuff. All right, and one. it snapped off, and in fact, you know what, I need to just hit it with the grinder. Just need a sharper end on it, like that, just to get in and try and get this to move out rather than just bending in more. Nearly. Okay, well that looks pretty clear. I don't know what, you can see diddly squat there, there we go. So yeah, try him. Oh, let's do a bit of zoomy. Let me zoom? No, let me zoom. Yeah, looking clear. So there's nothing sort of stopping it rotating there. Okay, let's again pass. So I think what I'd want to do there, basically just check the rotation, right? Let's make sure we're righty-tighty and it's not doing anything odd and wonderful. Always better to look at that sort of stuff first. Right, what I was going to take a look at is the interior. So let's see about this this rear bench seat. Shift that out of the way. So, we're in with the other camera now, so over there a second. The carpet's all a bit yeah, wibbly wobbly, I'm afraid. You can get seasick. Right, so these rear bench seats. So I wonder how they stay in. On many cars, you just give them a bit of a pull, right? Give them a tug. Let's get in. Oh. So it's got little seat belt positioning stuff. What we got here? Nothing there. Doesn't feel like that's going to move. Doesn't feel like that's going to move. Definitely feels like that's going to move though. So that's coming up there. So that means this one's going to do the same. Okay, so what's holding the front down then? I wonder. Feels like not a lot. So maybe unless there's something from underneath, but that sounds like overkill, right? Surely not. What it feels like, I've got something going on. Ow. Down here. We've got, I can slide a finger underneath it, and that whole bit lifts up there, but this corner has got something going on. Aha. And it seems like all it is a clip. So yonder little clippy tool. That's the thing, right? You don't want to put too much. when you don't know how it's held on, you don't want to give it too much in case you're about to break something and ruin a perfectly decent rear bench seat. But this one's putting a little bit more of a fight. Yeah, I'm getting cramp. What's the finger? Yeah, I'll go back there. There's a bit of pad to sit on just there. Right. Try and get exactly where it is. I think that's here. Ow. Come on, you bugger. No, seriously. I'm coming over. Okay, I don't want to put too much on that one. Little pry bar, maybe? Where is the little pry bar? Ah, bugger that. Big screwdriver. Bigger screwdriver. There's the mounting point. Nearly, that's it. Oh my gosh. I mean, so what you're trying to do, okay. So it's, as you can see, it is just prying it open up that gets it out. It's just holding on that chap. So let's get this out of the way. That's another one to get into storage. Pop that rear window. There we go. Right. Woo. Okay, so we've got some seat belts. Got a little, there's a little bit of tunnel soundproof in there. Chunky. Because obviously this is your gearbox down here. We've got a lot of soundproofing. Well, you'd expect it, right? It was a very expensive car. So, right. So these rear seats, then. Well. Well, I can't see any fixing points down here. I can't believe these are just clipped in. Feels like there's something going on there. Could well be there's something from the boot, but the boot's quite a long way away from there. Let's have a look. I'm out of space back here, right? That's the problem. So see, that's where the airlines live. So what we've got in here, well, basically not a lot. Got a light just here. We've got some little trim fixings here, so I think it's time to pull some trim fixings. So let me just grab that little tool again. In fact, I've got another little tool as well that's good for these. So again, little trim fixing kit. It's got this little chap as well, which really works a treat. Okay, he says, but we'll go to old-fashioned. These are just pop-out ones. You get some of them with a little pin that's inserted into the middle that widens them out like a plastic rivet type thing. These ones are not those. I'm going to pull the boot trim off as well. So there we go. That's cool. In fact, that's probably of some use to somebody, right? Because I guess they do sort of perish. And that one's quite a nice one. Okay, so we've actually got a trim piece on the inside here as well, which is connected down here. So what I'm going to do, there's also a little boot floor in here, which you're sitting on. So I'll get rid of that. Put you back in there. You're basically in the battery compartment, or you're meant to be. You won't stay still. There you go. All right. So yeah, that's all these now. But there's going to be more little. I'm just holding this in, holding this panel in. So what I need to do is get rid of, okay, this whole boot floor section. I think. In fact, let's do that. You up here. Sit up. Okay, you're going to be a bit wonky, a bit precarious. Don't fall. Okay. So, the problem is I've put you up there and I've got no bloody light back here. Okay, so what we've got, there's a plastic trim panel just here. I think feels like posi drive. Let's whip that off. I think that's what's retaining the boot carpet in situ. Where be posi? There you go. Not skinny enough. Open the door. Right. So yeah, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 little retaining jobbies. Little screws. It says no, more than 4. There's a couple, another one down the bottom. On one side. And same on t'other. There we go. So that's the little plastic boot trim, old boot loading bag trim. Right, and then okay, yeah. So get rid of these bits out of the way a minute. So we've also got, okay, so this trim panels on the side seem to sit beneath it. Right, there we go. So that is a little spare wheel well. Stick that on top as well. We're getting a nice pile on top at the minute. Okay. And then there's a little bit of sound deadening, foam kind of stuff there as well. And then we're into the little wheel well itself. It's just bolted down with some screws. You can just remove this. It gives you access. You know what? I'll open this up a bit. It gives you access to the top of the gearbox. I'll leave that in just for a moment, because what I want to try and do is get rid of these side panels. Okay, well they are easy enough to remove. See if the other one's the same. Oh, and I've got a trim clip on this side. He says, have I? Yep. And there we go. Aha. So get rid of those 2 as well. Pile them up. pile it high. Well, the boot lid's coming in handy here. Okay, and then okay, now I know what is in that space. Did wonder, obviously. So this is the little protective thing, but it sort of makes sense, right? Because I hadn't really spied where was the fuel tank. Answer: blimey, look at that thing. Jeez Louises. So we have an alley fuel tank with its pump in there, and we've got some sort of, what's that sitting on top? I do not know. So it's two pumps, so we've got a pump either side. Man, that is a beastie fuel tank. And then what we got over here is something else. and look at this. Here we have a little cut off. So this is one of those chappies where if you get in a smack or do whatever, it'll trip, and then your car's dead. And if you don't know it's there, that is what you've got to go and push, and it'll kick it back into action. I can now get to the rear lights, obviously, so that's good. So they can come out and get on eBay. I've also got this this CD changer, and above it some sort of control unit. Not sure what for. Yeah. Now, interestingly, can we get to? I think down there. I'm going to go in with the hand. Hold fire. Can we feel the top of the? All I can feel at the moment is lots of sound deadening. So, interesting. Down that way somewhere are the top of the rear shocks. What is interesting though is we seem to have there's a rear bulkhead there for the seats. The seats are sitting against. I have absolutely no clue if they are being retained, whether I can get to anything. So this side's a bit more clear. So I'd mentioned that these Maseratis have a cut-off switch. So this is there's a cut-off switch just here. As you can see, I've also got a little cigarette lighter. So this is like a master cut-off. Just rotate. We've got some fuse boxes. Fuse box back here as well. The master fuses are up here. And yeah, here's our wheel arch. So I am super confused. So why? So our wheel arch, we've got a chunky old hump here for the wheel arch, right? So I've got that. So this is all wheel arch here, which is up here. But then our coilover is going, it sort of doesn't go all the way to the top of the wheel arch, so it sits lower. So how the hell do you access the top of that then? Because all I've got here is metal, unless maybe okay. I think the way it works is there's a cutout down the back. Aha. Okay. Right. I can feel the top of the shot. What I can feel down is surgery. I can feel 1, 2, 3. I can feel the 4 nuts. I've got a wire coming out the top, which is what you'd expect for these shocks, which is coming all the way down here. And no, not that one. It's this one here. It's going into a little clip just there, going all the way to there, going all the way to there, and it's plugging into this little chap. There we go. And then there's another cable tie there, and then I'm guessing there's the wire goes underneath and goes up to the other side here. The only issue I'm going to have here is I've got this chap in the way, whatever the heck this is. What is that? It's a big box. I'm not going to okay, I've got a pipe coming down here, and I've got So is that a breather for the fuel tank? I mean, it's in the right place, right? To be some sort of breather. I'm not going to pull it off, pull the pipe off until I know quite what it is. But obviously I've got a couple of retaining nuts here, so if I take those retaining nuts, maybe this slides out and then I can get to the other shock tower. Possibly. All right, well, let's get rid of this chap. There we go. Another bit of trim. I've just pulled that out. It's just okay. Yeah, good. It was only little plastic connectors again. Oh, genuine plastic connectors on eBay, eh? Put that up there. So I've got lots of interior trim that I need to list, I suppose. There's bound to be somebody that's like missing a bit or something stupid like that will find those bits useful, so why not? Clearly, what we want to do here is pull out this fuel tank, because that would give us like so much. So what we've got is, okay, for starters, there is a pin running through there, and then you've got this clamp, that's obviously pulling it tight. So if I undo this, it's going to drop the fuel tank back. Now, one thing I'm not sure about is how much fuel I've got in this thing. But I'm guessing, well, based on, so that pipe, where's that going? I don't know what this is. Again, it's got it. Okay, maybe it's flat, but it's very, 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 very like welded up. So could it be that that is like a swirl pot type thing, but flat? Or is that where fuel returns? I mean, there's nothing going down from it. Could it be? I just beyond me. No clue. All right, so I think let's spin these little 10 mils off. You stay here. You've had enough wobble cam. It's going to be interesting how long this battery camera is going to, the phone camera is going to last. It wasn't charged last night, so, and it being an iPhone, you know, that's not sensible. So what we want here is chuck a 10 mil. Kind of pointless having a heater on when you've got the door open, Jess, idiots. Right. Oh, overkill, but whatever. Nothing down. Wash it on the end. So it feels like, yeah, feels like that wants to come out. Okay, well, you know what, let's just start undoing connectors and see what happens. Well, nothing pissed out. Nothing pissed out that one. Nothing pissed out that one. So that's got to be a drain pipe, because that goes to the wheel arch. It's starting to smell a little fuely down here. So okay, so what we've got there is something. I don't know what we've got. We've got a Pedazzini Testa Circuito Antivaporativo. There we go. So if anyone needs a circuito antivaporitio. On you am. Yeah, it's okay. So let's put that somewhere where it ain't gonna. So yeah. Interesting. And learn. Well, no, not live and learn because I still have no real clue. But whatever. Okay, but importantly, I can now get to. Well, I can see down there. See the top of the shot tower? Yes, you can. So all I've got to do now is spin off these. Again, there's 1, 2, 3 little 10 mils that will take that bracket off the side of the fuel tank, and then I can get in that side. This side I can kind of get to. So with good. So I'm kind of intrigued to just get that out of the way a minute. So there's a fuel line, one that comes there. So that must be, okay, so that's the fuel line that's going to the car. Guess. Man, that is one mother of an alley tank. Jeez. I mean, like literally the Pro Alloy version, Pro Alloy, amazing company for alley bits, things like fuel tanks and radiators and such like. They did one for the Elise, a nice alley tank that we used to use for the racing because you got an extended tank and things like that. And I always thought, oh, the extended tank, that's pretty chunky. It's like is it like a 50 litre or something like that? I don't know what this is, but this is big. Okay. Right. So it looks like then, if I whop those off, using my new Allen key kit, then that whole fuel tank is going to rotate back. There's going to be, yeah, there's a pin bar on the base as well. So I guess what's going to happen, oh yeah, and it's got these little R clips as well. So if I pull those R clips, loosen that, pull those R clips, this whole little bracing thing will come off. Let's do that. Why not? Let's release the fuel tank while we're here. So you stay there a second. Let me just go and get some little needle nose pliers or something to get a hold of those R clips. And what we also need, there's some needle nose, and we also need our new little wonder kit. Let's see. Need my little torque gun and adapter for a 3/8. Where's the 3/8 adapter? Oh, for God's sake. What have we got here? To there. I could have swore I just had it on the end of this gun, and I just took it off, put it down, just here, he says, just here, but clearly I didn't, and clearly I put it down somewhere else. I now can't find it. Whatever. Let's use a ratchet. Right. Okay. We're back. So, yeah, let's attack this thing here with one of. Ooh, no, fail. Oh, okay. Where are you looking? Are you vaguely anywhere near where I'm actually doing stuff? Sort of. Okay, so I think loosen this off first a little bit. Okay, everything's wiggling and jiggling back there. Do the same with this one. Okay. Right. Then what we're going to do? Pull one of those little R clips, and then slide the pin out. Maybe. There we go. So that's the pin out. I'm going to put that back through because, again, I would imagine, well, I don't know. I mean, like, you know, how are these things ever going to wear out, right? How are you ever going to damage this? You ain't going to damage this, right? It's, I've got a torch on this thing. To see what I'm doing vaguely. Got it. Up in there. That is fiddly. Right, that's the R clip out, but now that's quite how I get the. Oh, there we go. Give it a wiggle. Oh. Where's my little needle nose? I'm just trying to move my hand. There we go. Nope. Nope. Can't reach. Ah, you beauty. Right. Can I get the? There we go. Got it. Right. So that's one. Clip. Where did the other little R clip go? I dropped it. Okay. Well, whatever. Right. Next one. So this has got another tank connector. At some point, I'm expecting to get sprayed with petrol here because you would imagine there's going to be some pressure in this thing. I mean, okay, it's not started for a long time, but whew, okay. So again, another pin and another pin. In fact, I'm going to do the bottom ones while this is still. Oh, what's going on with that one? Putting up a fight. Ooh, definitely getting funky down here. Super. In fact, my lawnmowers are not going to know what's hit them because whatever's in this tank is going to be decanted and used to fuel machinery. They ain't used to having good stuff because, yeah, super unleaded or whatever. Super duper. Okay, so again, I can't see. There it is. Got it. Right. That's the 4 pins out. Let's try and get this. Oh, you know what? Now I think I've got the whole weight fuel tank on this thing. So maybe the fuel tank wants to fall towards me. Can only end well. Let's undo it a bit more. Do the clamp a little bit more. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. It does probably want to escape. Oh. Come on, yeah. Back up. Nearly there. That's it. That's one. Again, I'll just chuck this back in. On the floor. Okay. And I wonder if there's any any YouTube videos on how to remove a fuel tank on a Maserati? There we go. If not, there's about to be. Or how not to remove a fuel tank on a Maserati. Probably what I can do. Geez, problem is my nose is right, right next to it. What do they say in petrol forecourts as well about not using your phone because, you know, all the vapours and whatever, what a load of rubbish that is, but whatever. Here we go. If we all go up in smoke, we'll know that they're not taking the mickey. Okay, I can't get this bloody pin out. I'm pushing it back through the other way. Oh, right. Yeah. Oh my life. Jesus Christ. Right. I can't go all the way one way or all the way the other. Try and jam this thing out of the way a bit. Aha. By lifting that up, you can get a bit of angle on it. That's it. Right. There is a knack. I'm not sure what it is. And let's face it, it's not a job you're going to be doing often, if ever. I guess, right, okay, so why would you need to do this? Your fuel pump's packed up, right? Or, well, one of your fuel pumps is packed up. I guess you're going to have to get to it. Well, you are going to have to get to it this way. There's no question about it, right? All right, so if this thing, what's it? Okay, it's now stuck on a socket that I just impaled into it. So, how heavy does this feel? That feels like it's full of bloody petrol. Brilliant. Okay, so it moves that side. This side moves no problem. There is nothing connected on this side. The issue is going to be this side, where we have obviously the filler down the back there, because that goes up to this chap up here. So what we can do is we've got a little on there, and then we've probably got another clip on the back there that we can get a 7mm. Let's see. You know, I'm doing it again, aren't I? I'm just leaving tools all over the shop. That's the problem. Okay, so I'd like to say that if I wasn't filming, so trying to, you know, get a lick on, I'd be, you know, taking my time and putting things back where they're meant to go and stuff like that. But that is absolute tosh, because I'm bloody useless and leave stuff all over the place. Right, I'm gonna commit to a 7mm. I'm not even going to take the 6 with me. That's how confident I am. And then it'll fail me anyway, and it'll be an 8mm, right? No, we're there. Look at that, eh? Okay. So, all right, you want to come on more? Lovely, lovely quality Jubilee clips. Anyone would think this was like some flashy, expensive car, right? Okay. Okay, and we're at the stage actually where, to be fair, if this has got a fair bit of petrol in it, I have got a little pump floating around somewhere. So I guess, yeah, because things we get high, so high, and we get high. So, come on. I wasn't expecting to be removing a fuel tank, but I've been under this car loads of times, so I should have absolutely known this is obviously where the fuel tank is, because I hadn't seen it underneath, but I hadn't been looking for it underneath, if that makes any sort of sense, right? So, right, okay, well, that's not going to move like that. This is very heavy, so thus very, very full of petrol. That is going to really put up a fight to come off. It's kind of got like a green, rubbery kind of... There you go, got it. Right, now obviously what we've also got is a heck of a lot of wiring and stuff like that, as well as some feeds. So we've got a feed from the tank into there, we've got a feed going all the way down here, so we need to unhook all this stuff. So you would imagine some of these, no, again, they're not pressured. Let's take that. Oh no, okay, interesting. I didn't want that falling off, eh? So there's like a double, so it clips on and you put that in. So yeah, so it clips on, it ain't going to fall off. You put that in, it really ain't going to fall off. Nice. They really didn't want that connection falling off, eh? Oh, I've got a bit of petrol floating around. Right, same again. Safety, pull. And then that one's a bit tighter, but there we go. Right, it's in some nice little runs, cable runs. I really need to change these gloves, don't I? It's not particularly dirty back here though. Now we've got one wire going this way out. We've got an earth going to here, so we need to do that. Just squeeze these connectors and pull them off. And there's a little bit of petrol finally. But we had to have some under some pressure somewhere. So this must be the feed for this one going to the car. There's some little clips just down on the side as well. I can feel. Actually, it feels like these ones ain't gonna come off now. Actually, I can use you guys because you can get down there. You guys, talk again. Oh, Jesus. Right, so I've got a connector here on the side that I can get one. Oh, right. You guys stay down there. There we go. So that's that one. And then got another one there. Oh. Come on, you bugger. There we go. And then they both come up to this one here, which seems to be, what is that? Okay, it's got a it's kind of like a little cover over it or something. There we go. And break that off. There we go. So that's all the fuel cables, fuel lines, I think, anyway. I've got, oh no, I've got another connection down there. And then that feels like everything off the side of that side. Yeah, in front down there. There we go. So, oh, we've got another, oh no, that's just a loop there. So I think what we'll do, move some tools out of the way. I probably could do with sticking you, where do you want to go? To see this dramatic extraction, or me getting absolutely covered in petrol. In fact, yeah, look, okay. I'm going to stick you up on a shelf unit on there again. I don't know what you can see. Okay. Hello, is that me? Yeah, okay. All right. Now, obviously, I've got this earth line, as I say, so but I need to shift it out a bit to be able to get to it. So let's see. Okay, it feels to me there is a non-trivial amount of petrol in this car. Right. So what we need is a 10 mil. I think I've got a 10 mil on that, right? Yep. Can't get at it. A bit more. Right. That's the earth line out. Let's put that gun somewhere where I'm bound to lose it. Excellent. Right. So, okay. Right, there was that little bracket on the end, which is down there now. So if I pivot that, I wonder, no, I think that bracket's got to come off to be able to move the many litres of fuel. Oh my God. Right, there we go. Spun that around. So I need to get a 10 mil into there. It's a long 10 mil. So I'll go with that socket, but I just need a wrench because I can't get the gun in there. Obviously, it's all a bit tight. And I need a 1/2 inch drive socket because amazingly I'm using a massive 1/2 inch socket just for a 10 mil, but whatever. Right. Okay, that's one loose. Right. 1, 2. I mean, but Jesus, that is a beastie. Right. So, well, let's now. Lots of openings at that end, not much in the way of openings at this end. So I perhaps actually want to go. That's that mount for the whatever the hell that thing was called. Oh my gosh. Or oh my lanta, as they say. All right, here we go. So it's decidedly fuely around here. Okay. Okay, the sensible thing to do here would be to go over to the house, go and find the extraction pump that I use to pull oil out of the, you know what the hell am I talking about? Gravity. What I need is a fuel tank. I'm sure I saw one out here somewhere. I wonder if you're still working. Can you still hear me? Okay, well, I've got 2 5 litres. I'm sure I had a 20 litre jerry can out here somewhere. I've got 2 5 litres, and damn it, where did I put that jerry can? That would be ideal for this. And a bit of hose tube, sorry. Tube. How much tube we got here? Oh, that is insufficient hosing, I think. Let's see. Just trying to. Yeah, we got a fair bit. So what we'll do, set that back down. Whew. Set that in there. Right, let's see if I can just see this jerry can. Where did I put that bloody thing? I'm sure it was out here under this bed. Nope. No. Just where where? Got the mower out here because I've not put it. I'm not finished for the winter yet. I've still got to stick the mower over the lawns. But what the hell? And I definitely pulled a couple of jerry cans out of the bottom shed. Okay, whatever. Let's go with at least pulling 10 litres out. We can. So. Didn't manage to swallow any of it, thankfully, but there we go. So we is flowing. Well, 10 litres out of it will help, I suppose. In fact, you can come with me. You've got a light, haven't you? Let's see. No, I've got so much crap lying around out here. To say I'm in need of some tip runs is an understatement. Nope. Okay, I'm not going blind. Oops. That's full. I wonder if actually. Oh, hang on. You've gone off. You're torching. Down here. No clue. I must be dreaming, imagining, whatever. Okay, how are we doing? Nearly. And let's try and get fuel everywhere. There we go. That in there. Doesn't pop out. No, waiting for connection. I wonder what. Because I walked outside. Oh no, we're back. Yeah. Hello. So yeah, so behind there now, I mean, look at the beautiful access to the shock towers now. Yeah, there we go. There's that rear bulkhead. I can't see any bolts going through for that rear seat, which would make sense, right? You wouldn't want to have to do all that faff just to get a rear bench seat with the rear seat out. So yeah, we'll see. Okay. Right, that's about to fill up. I'm just going to chuck you guys. Oh, you guys. Chuck you back up there. There you go. Stay. Oopsie. Okay, so that's that. Well, I've just remembered I've got I have a generator. Oh, it's nice and fuely on the floor now. Whoopsie. I have a generator that hasn't got any fuel in it. So what I'm thinking is, I can't be asked. I'm just going to take it out as it is. Can't be asked. It's got 10 litres out of it, right? So that'll help, maybe a bit. Let's get rid of those guys. Right. Nice. Oh yeah, that's much better. Okay. All right. Well, I've got the room. Let's just man up and do it. Okay. Okay. Right. Is anything else connected? No. We are absolutely free of anything. That is a beast. All right. Where am I going to put this? Where am I going to put this? You know what? What I'm going to do is precariously balance it. Just there. It can't go anywhere. What I'm going to do is just get. I could do with. I'm not going to be able to get it through where without dragging it along the floor. So what I'm going to do, let me just move. I've got a couple of, oh God, a couple of leaf springs here for the Jeep. Let me just get those out of the way. And somewhere here, I must be careful because this is, I've got some glass here, which I'm going to move and try not to bugger up because it's the glass from the doors. I've got a couple of dollies, so I'm going to use one of those. Pop that down there, and let's see. All right, have you had your Weetabix? Right. Now, got nothing to really hold on to. Okay, yeah. Right. This is one of those really bad ideas. Ow, 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 ow. Oh. So, is it going to fit under? Bit of petrol. So, is it going to fit under? Yes, by millimeters. There we go. Now, if I was sensible, what I could do is now lift that up onto that table. You see, generator just there, and fill the generator directly from it. That would be perhaps sensible. But anyway, right. So there we go. So now we have a boot. Blimey, I mean, it's not going to go anywhere because let's face it, you ain't got any fuel anymore. But that is what we were trying to. Well, we we're trying to get to it. We were just trying to empty this thing, right? So that is all good fun. So yeah, we've got another one of these cable tie clips here, another one there, and then this cable runs across under here and coming down here, up here, into here, into this big cable thing here, which means this chap here is the Skyhook controller for the suspension, I reckon. So that's the Skyhook ECU. That would make some sense, I'm pretty sure, because that's, yeah, look, what we got here. Cavo lights, okay, well, maybe not. Oh, I don't know. Whatever. It looks connected, but we'll see. So I've got to pull that off. That will get the suspension out. But obviously, what we're missing in this whole logic is how you actually disassemble. I can't believe I'm stuck on how you actually disassemble the rear. Because yeah, and it's look at this. See how long it's sat. Spider's webbies. See what I mean about the brake disc though? It's there is like literally nothing, no wear on it really to any note. But yeah, that's the thing is, how do I whip this rear corner off? I mean, you could just whip the rear corner off properly, as in just take off the 4 bolts, right, and the anti-roll bar connection. There we go. But even that, the anti-roll bar, I'm not entirely sure how it's connecting. So, okay, all right. And now we have all of that stuff to deal with as well on top. So I think, is this a good point? What we're doing for time? I don't know, because I normally look at my watch. All right. What I need is a load of people that know about Maseratis to watch this, and then I need some way of communicating with them while I'm doing this shit, so they can say, "You're being a twat. Undo that and hit it with that, and then it'll come off." That's what we need to be doing here. But anyway, what I'm not looking forward to is this. The dashboard. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it'll just all unclip and pop out. I have a feeling that's not going to be the case, and it's going to be an absolute mission. But yeah, so I've got some things to look up. Right, homework for me. Oh, your light's gone off. Well, first of all, the battery's about to die because I think that's why the torch has just gone off. So I think we're at the end of our test of using the iPhone for a stream. So hang on, yeah, look, we can do piece to camera now. Look. In fact, hang on, can we even turn the camera to use the front camera? Oh yeah, we can. There we go. Oh, it's gone light. So I need to have a look, have a read, have a post on a forum probably, but have a read how to remove the rear corners off this car. I'm also intrigued as to what is holding that in place. As in, do you just give it a damn good tug and away we go, as they say, as she said. And yeah, so if I can get that out, because what I want to do is get all the leather. There we go. So as if by magic, that is the battery dead on my iPhone. Whatever. I wasn't really planning to do a stream tonight. Let me just find that keypad. Let's see, where can we go to? Inside. Let's see. No, we don't want to sit in there. There we go. Hey. All right. No, I just I dropped the controller down. It just pressed a key all of its own accord. Which one was that? 2, 3, 1. Right. Put it down gently now, Jez. There you go. Well done. All right. So that's been fun. I wasn't planning to take a fuel tank out tonight, but we took a fuel tank out, and now at least I can see how we can get the rear shocks out. So that's great. I need to get the rear shocks out and those wishbones pulled because they have all sold. So I just need to get them out and make sure, for starters, I mean, they look decent anyway from having a poke around, but get them off, because you never know till you actually got them out in the light and have a proper look at them. But make sure they're okay for what I've sold them as, which is all right, standard kind of off an 80,000 mile car, but whatever. So yeah, so I need to pull those rear corners off. Now that whole boot area is clear, the other thing I can do, as I said, which I was going to get onto this evening, was pulling the exhaust system, at least as far as I could. I need to get the catalytic converters off. They kind of seem like they're in demand. I don't know whether they're in demand or not, but when you need one, you probably don't want to go and buy a new one, right? If there's a semi-decent used one out there, so it'll be good to see what state the cats are in. I have heard that that one of the reasons these engines are mega reliable, right? I mean, they really are mega reliable motors until you either drive through a puddle or the catalytic converter goes and gets sucked into the engine. I think that's the common failures of these things. I may be wrong, but yeah. So it depends when you peer into the cat how solid it looks, whether there's fragments already come off it and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, this being an 80,000 mile car, you never know, right? It may have had a very easy life. It may have been a hooning toy for somebody. So it may have gone through lots and lots of very hot cycles and God knows what else. Excuse me. So yeah, so we'll pull those off and pull that exhaust section off. I think with the iPhone the way it is, that kind of worked okay. So we can get under the car with the phone. So we'll pull the exhaust system off, take out the boot, and that will give us access to the gearbox. What I'd like to do is when we pull once I can get these, and again, that's the other thing I need to look at, is something a bit more substantial to pull off these hub nuts, and I need to make sure the direction that I'm undoing these things is righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, or if it is indeed something else and they're one of them's reversed or whatever. So so we'll have a look at that, get the hub nuts off. That way we can pull, when we pull the back when we pull the back corners off, we can also take the drive shafts out. That leaves us with the gearbox that we can then drop the whole rear subframe once the exhaust's out of the way, and happy days. So that'll be a nice a nice one to do. Pull the exhaust, get the rear corners off, and then drop the. That's probably being a bit ambitious, right? But drop the gearbox off the back, off the torque tube. I can't remember last time whether because I did a gearbox on this thing. I have a feeling. In fact, I do. I remember I took the whole torque tube out, so I managed to drop. I dropped the rear subframe, slid the gearbox back a little bit, enough to get the torque tube off front and rear, and I sort of had on the little dolly, and I had the torque tube like lying across me. I was getting frisky with the with the torque tube, bloody heavy. So I think that would be cool if I could pull the torque tube out again. Then the whole rear subframe can drop down with gearbox, and we are good. Yeah, that would be awesome. I would like to get that done. I mean, basically, once the rear drivetrain is out, I mean, the interior, obviously, just the rear back seats, they can all go upstairs, and I can give them a bit of a clean up and whatever, get those listed, get all these interior pieces listed up as well. I don't know. Do you sell them or do you just take them down the dump? I don't know. So I'll have a look. And then I guess then I've got to do the dashboard, right? I've got to do the dashboard. So I said I was going to look up how to take off the steering wheel. I didn't, but I'll have a look, and maybe someone's had a dash off one of these things before, so that's written it down. You never know on the forums. I suppose there might be people that have replaced stereos or stereo systems and things like that. So let's have a play. Anyway, right, I'm rattling. I'm going to go and have a beer, but I'm not. I'm going to go and have a rum and coke, a caffeine-free rum and coke, so I can actually sleep tonight. And yeah, so we'll call it. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll chop this thing up a little bit for the rear, because I think it's kind of interesting, the fuel tank thing. I'll have a look. Maybe there's nice instructional videos on how. That was not a nice instructional video from me, right? But maybe someone's already shown how the fuel tank sits in this thing. But if not, you can see me stumbling my way through it in some sort of short, I guess. Or I could clip it. Yeah, I'll clip this. Anyway, all right. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed me covering myself in fuel and generally making an ass of myself. And yeah, I'll see you again very soon. Cheers.